Hey everyone, so we talk a lot on here about standing instead of sitting and how using a standing desk can help produce a little bit more movement in your life so you're less stationary, because when it comes down to it, you are going to have to sit sometimes, and standing might not necessarily be the only solution, right? It's not that standing is better than sitting, it's that moving is better than being stationary. So I was just talking to a client in here and we were talking about strategies of how to sit when you do have to. So I just want to show you a few tips. You'll notice right away that I'm actually sitting on the edge of the chair, and I'll show you a side view in a second. But what I want you to think about is, I got my feet kind of wide and I'm pushing my knees out. And that's one of the cues that we use for squatting, and the reason is because that winds up your hip and creates a nice stable position for your pelvis or your hip bones to sit in. That allows my trunk to be a little bit more upright and my shoulders open, and I'm at a desk here. This is a really great position of tension on the floor with your feet, and then cue people to have their abs on about 20%. And that's not flexing really, really hard. That's just enough that if someone were to come over and slap you on the belly, that it wouldn't hurt. So just right in here is a great spot of sitting on the edge of this chair. So I'm totally straight up and down. I got my feet wide and I'm pushing my feet out, or pushing my knees out to create that good stable position. So this is a great one. And remember with this stuff too, it's gonna be hard at first. You're only gonna be able to maintain it for a minute or two at a time. But with practice, because it's a skill like everything else, you'll get better at it and it'll be easier to maintain. So from here, because you'll notice if I bring my feet in, my hips right away tuck right underneath me and down in this big rounded position that we don't want to spend a whole lot of time in, especially if you're flexion sensitive, like most of you can be that sit a lot. So just by shifting forward, spreading my legs apart, I can make a big difference. The other variation of that is sitting on the edge of the chair still, but putting your feet together here. And that does the same thing. That lets the knees drop out to create a stable hip. Let me keep my torso straight upright if I'm working on a computer here. And you can see that from the side as well. Right here, I'm virtually in the same position as here. And as soon as I come in, I start rounding under. Especially if I try and sit back here, I can get into that good position when I'm sitting back in the chair, but as you'll notice, my feet are a lot wider. So the other thing you can do, and this is one that I do a lot, and you guys have probably noticed that because you see me sitting like this a lot when I'm in the office talking to you, is I try and cross one leg underneath. And that does the same thing. That actually helps protect my back of not letting it round forward. So I can sit like this, I'll do the other side, or you can even just do the kind of classic sit here. And that's a good way to kind of mix it up, moving. Think. Best position is your next position. Remember, it's about moving. It's not about finding that one spot that you can stay in for 8 hours at your desk. It's about finding a few different things that you can do to continually move throughout the day. So I like this one. This is a good one a lot. You get a little hip mobility working as well. And then the other one is you can take one leg and drop it off to the side and kind of sit down here, and then same thing. We got that good protected spine. We actually get one leg into a little bit of extension, which can help kind of spread the hips out and easy to maintain that. You can do that on both sides. So when you're forced to sit and you're in that mandatory sitting position, try doing some of this stuff. Just because you're in the chair doesn't mean it has to be bad. You can kind of do a few things to fight against that and try to stay in a better position. Thanks.